Do you want a balloon?
Tonight we're diving into something pretty dark, exploring the creation of one of horror's most iconic villains, Pennywise the Dancing Clown. There's something about clowns, I don't know about you, but it just gets under my skin. That mix of humor and the unknown, like what's really going on under there?
Yeah, I mean, what's fascinating is that Stephen King, the guy who created Pennywise, he didn't invent that fear of clowns, He tapped into something much deeper, something primal that already existed.
Oh, for sure. He weaponized that.
Yeah.
He turned the image of a clown into something really sinister.
Yeah.
But Pennywise is more than just a clown, right? He's like...
a mask.
Exactly. Beneath that smile and that playful demeanor lies a creature of pure malice. An entity, it's known as It. Imagine a being that predates humanity. An alien force arrived on Earth long ago.
So not just a creepy clown, but cosmic horror. So where'd King get the inspiration for this? Well, King has said the idea came from a real-life bridge near his childhood home. He imagined a troll lived under there. He kind of blended that childhood fear with the image of clowns. Created a monster that just resonates with our deepest anxieties.
A troll under a bridge turned into a child-eating clown.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant and terrifying. Why a clown, though? What is it about them that makes them so perfect for horror?
Well, they occupy this strange space between the familiar and the uncanny. They're supposed to be fun, but their features, those painted smiles and unpredictable behavior, can trigger a sense of unease. We never really know what's behind the mask, what's hidden beneath the makeup.
It's like the uncanny valley, but for laughter. We're drawn to them and repelled at the same time. And King takes that unease and, well, he cranks it up.
Yeah, think about it. A clown's smile is fixed, unchanging. It doesn't matter what they're actually feeling. Creates this unsettling disconnect between appearance and reality. They're unreliable narrators of their own emotions. Makes them uncrustworthy.
And that's before they start shape-shifting. Right into our worst nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
That's the terrifying thing about Pennywise. He's not limited to the clown. He can become anything we fear. A manifestation of our anxieties.
And that shape-shifting, that's key to understanding it. This creature, it's not bound by our physical world. It exists on a cosmic level, tapping into our fears, feeding off our terror.
Oh, hold on. This cosmic entity, it feeds on fear.
Yes, fear is its sustenance, its lifeblood. The more fear it generates, the more powerful it becomes.
So it's not just about killing, it's about terrifying. Manipulating our emotions to gain power. Wow, that's a whole other level. And why children? Why does it target children? Even for a cosmic entity, that's pretty messed up.
There's a logic to it, a chilling logic. But children are more susceptible to fear. Their imaginations are more vivid, their fears more raw and primal, easier to manipulate, to terrify. Their fear is potent, a feast for this creature.
Yeah. It's like it preys on innocence, twisting things that should be joyful into something dark and terrifying.
But there's more to it. It's feeding cycle, right? I mean,
Yes.
doesn't it just...
Stay awake forever.
Right. It operates on the cycle, waking up every 27 years to feed on this town, Derry, Maine, then goes back to sleep.
27 years. Is there significance to that, or is that just another creepy detail?
Lots of theories about the number 27. Some think it's the lunar cycle. Others, the age King was when he wrote the book. But in the story, it creates this feeling of inevitability, looming dread over the town.
Like a clock ticking down to the next reign of terror. And for those 27 years, it just sleeps. Where does it go?
It slumbers beneath the town, deep in the sewers and the darkness. But it's not completely gone. Derry has a dark history, violence, tragedy. And a lot of people think it is responsible even when it's sleeping.
So, like a virus infecting the town with fear and darkness. And then every 27 years, the symptoms flare up, the virus is active, and it wakes up to feed. That's chilling.
King really weaves its presence into the town. It's not just a monster that appears every few decades. It's part of Derry. It's what gives the town that haunted feeling.
And it can take so many forms. We've talked about the clown, but there are others. Other ways it manifests to scare its victims.
Oh, yeah. Remember, this is a shapeshifter, a creature of pure imagination. It can tap into our fears, become whatever we dread. Werewolf, vampire, giant spider, walking corpse. Anything that triggers fear.
Like a nightmare buffet, tailoring its terror to each victim. That's horrifyingly efficient.
And there are hints in the story of its true form, a form beyond human comprehension, a mass of orange lights called the deadlights.
The deadlights. Okay, that sounds intense. What are those?
It's a glimpse into its raw cosmic power, a glimpse that can drive you mad, shatter your mind, consume your soul. It's a reminder. It's not just a monster. It's a force of nature, something beyond good and evil.
So facing the deadlights is like staring into the abyss.
More than that, it's being consumed by it. a fate worse than death. It erases you.
But even with that power, it's not invincible, is it? The Losers Club, they defeat it. How's that possible?
That's key to the story. It gets to what King's saying about fear. Even though it feeds on fear, it can be weakened by courage, by belief.
The power of belief can actually harm this cosmic entity.
Exactly, the Losers Club. By banding together, facing their fears, believing in something bigger than themselves, they fight back. And they defeat it.
That's powerful. Even facing unimaginable terror, courage and belief can prevail. But it also makes you wonder, if it can be defeated, can it be destroyed? Or is it just dormant waiting for the cycle to start again? That's the question, right? Can something like it truly be destroyed? Or is it just waiting, lurking in the shadows for that cycle to begin again?
And that uncertainty, that dread, is part of what makes Pennywise so scary. It represents that fear that some things are beyond us, beyond our control.
The fear of the unknown things that go bump in the night, that something watching us from the darkness.
And King, the way he portrays it, it's not just a monster, it's a force, chaos and destruction. It preys on what makes us vulnerable. Our deepest fears turns them into nightmares, literally.
It's interesting. The more we learn about it, the more disturbing it gets, shape-shifting, the deadlights, the cycle. But one thing that I find particularly disturbing is the spider form.
Oh yeah, that giant spider laying eggs in the sewers, truly horrific. But it's more than just a scary image. It adds to the mythos, this cyclical horror, endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth.
Like a cosmic parasite, feeding on our fear, laying its eggs in our nightmares, making sure the terror never ends. Bleak outlook. But it's also what makes Pennywise so terrifying, so enduring.
It speaks to our fascination with the monstrous things in the shadows. We're drawn to stories like this because they let us confront our fears safely. They remind us that even with unimaginable terror, there's still hope.
The Losers Club. The power of belief, strength of unity, the courage to stand up to our fears. Even the darkest nightmares can be overcome.
Exactly. That's what makes Pennywise so compelling. He embodies our deepest fears, but also reminds us that we have the power to overcome them.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Pennywise, remember, the real monsters aren't always hiding. Sometimes they're the fears we carry inside. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the heart of darkness. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And next time you see a clown, don't be afraid to smile back. Just make sure it smiles back at you.